Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Board Masters with me, Chris Mullins, and today I will be doing my first unboxing in a little while and unboxing Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which is a game I have been very excited by. Obviously, as it being the offshoot of what is ranked the #1 board game of all time on BGG, Gloomhaven, which is a bit intimidating for me to dive straight into that yet. It's definitely one I want to get my hands on eventually, but I thought I'd wet my beak, as it were, with Jaws of the Lion first, and I think it was Red Rock Games had a fantastic deal on it on their webpage recently, so I dived straight in. So let's get it opened up. Obviously, let me know down below if this is a game that you'd be interested in seeing some gameplay on the channel. I know sometimes with these campaign games, because they're quite narrative focused, people may not want to see it, but there we go. So we've got the advert for Frosthaven, which of course is the follow-up to Gloomhaven, but that campaign was long before I got into the hobby. And I've heard about the audio narration on the app, and although that's something I'd be really interested in, because I use my phones for the recording, if I'm recording playthroughs, I can't use the audio app. So okay, so welcome to Gloomhaven. Stop, read this before you do anything else. There are more components in this game box than you may be used to, and it's important to make sure they are organized before you start to play the game. This sheet will give you step-by-step instructions on how to easily organize your game box and where to go from there, so you can start playing as fast as possible. Below this sheet in the box are 4 booklets, as well as a map board of the city and a sheet of stickers. You can set all of those aside for now. So this is obviously the Learn to Play guide. And this is a very sizable rulebook, which I guess is to be expected, given the size and scale of the game. Although part of me naively thought, because it was kind of painted as a sort of tutorial and an intro to Gloomhaven, that perhaps it would be a bit more cut down than this, because this is very text heavy. And basically 30 pages worth of very text-heavy rules. The intimidation factor isn't being lost yet. And then we've got the rules glossary. Stop if you're opening the box for the first time and want to learn how to play the game. Please read the Learn to Play guide. This document should not be used to learn to play. It's basically just the reference sheet. And wow, yeah, this is a sizable document as well. So obviously lots of things to double check and lots of rules to learn on this one. Wow, okay. Then we have the supplementary scenario book. Okay. So I guess this is giving you the setups and things of various scenarios. Don't know if that page is supposed to be upside down or not. Yeah, page 9. Okay. Okay, very intriguing. Again, have no real idea what anything in here means. Obviously it's a scenario book, so it's something to do with the narrative, but obviously a secondary one, and this is the main scenario book. Okay. It will be good to get back to the Sleeping Lion. After a fortnight going up and down the still river, chasing a bad lead on a missing blacksmith, you can almost feel the warmth of the inn's hearth when Gloomhaven's walls come into view. You are almost home. Okay, so yeah, this is, again, similar to what we saw in the supplemental book. This is basically the introduction to all the scenarios, the map layouts, your missions, your objectives. I mean, this is full on, and certainly a whole nother level compared to anything else I've got in the campaign or in my collection so far. And I am equal parts excited and terrified at this point. Mainly just through having to learn everything that's going on. I mean, this is a huge step up, but still very, very exciting. There's so much content. How many scenarios do we get up to here? 25 in this booklet. Okay. Okay, well, I haven't seen the map board or the sticker sheet yet. And then, but underneath, back to the welcome sheet, you will see 6 punch boards full of tokens and monster standees. Take these out of the game box and find the set of plastic zip bags and the plastic tray with its lid. Begin punching out the punch boards and place all of the smaller tokens shown below in the plastic tray. Then place each set of different monster standees in their own zip bag. There will be 3 unique monsters left which can go in a bag together. You can place the large square board with the booklets and place the set of small rectangular tokens with names on them off to the side for now. Okay, so this is obviously, as it's labelled, board 1. And wow, they have a really great feel to the tokens actually. I thought they were just cardboard tokens, and I'm sure they are, but they just feel really great. And here we have board 2, so we have our treasure chests, and I guess these are all sort of various status icons, and again, just guessing, could be completely wrong. Well, I'm guessing that those cross-eyed skulls are deaths. Here we have the monsters for the standees, and the art on those is gorgeous, with some of the unique monsters there. Yep, same art on both sides. Some more of the enemies, and again, gorgeous art. Inner waning strong. Not sure what that's to do with, possibly to do with spells, although it's labelled the Sleeping Lion at the back. On to board 5. These are really, really, really cool. And I guess the final punch board. So we got the initiative order tokens, they called them. Okay. And here we have the sticker sheet. Obviously Gloomhaven, the big full version, has its reputation for being a legacy game, but you can get some reusable stickers and things, or I'm guessing these will have the same impacts. And here we have the city map board. It reminds me of the map in the Witcher 3 game, to be honest, in the actual video game, the art style. I like the look of that. And here we have the little plastic tray for the tokens. I'll get punching on those later. And obviously the zip bags. Okay, on to the back. Left in the game box, you will find 4 larger tuck boxes with the 4 character icons. 8 smaller boxes with character icons and letters, 4 red and blue dials, a bag of plastic stands, and multiple wrapped decks of cards slotted into the plastic tray on the bottom of the game box. Most of this can be left in the game box for now, but note their names in the diagram to the right. Also take the 3 card dividers and put them in the card wells with their respective decks. Very important, do not open the small boxes with the A, B, C, D markings. So you're not going to be seeing those tonight. So let's get these out. Right. So presumably I can open these larger tuck boxes. Quattro Demolitionist. So obviously, and again, if you've watched any of my footage before, you know I love Fighting Fantasy, and that basically looks like a page from a Fighting Fantasy book, your stats page. What else have we got in here? Do not open this pack of cards until you're directed to do so. Okay, so this is your attack modifier deck as your character becomes more powerful. Similar thing here. Do not open this pack of cards until this character reaches level 5. At this time, flip this card over and read the back for the instructions. Okay, so I'm guessing I can open this one. And this looks like, based on the swords on the back, which mirrors the swords on the back of this one, I think this is the standard attack modifier deck. Okay. And then player reference card. So these will be, I guess, the starting skills and things, perhaps. So yeah, implode, knock out the support, piston punch, explode. So yeah, there's lots of abilities and skills that you have. Oh, and they do repeat, so that's interesting. And then obviously when you get to level 5, you can then unlock more skills. Yeah, and then we have the player board. And the flavour text on the back. Because of their diminutive size, Quattrals feel they have a lot to prove. From an early age, they are encouraged to study as much as possible about many different subjects. Though there are expert Quattrals in any field, they seem to have a particular affinity to engineering and machinery. And there's far more text to that, but I'll probably leave that for if and when I do play through this. And I'm guessing these little heart tokens, well, they look like grenades, so I'm guessing that's what they are. So that's tuck box 1. These are obviously the dials, which are going to, I guess, track your health and possibly magic, if I was to guess. Again, they feel really cool. Again, they look just like cardboard and like any standard dial like I have in the Lord of the Rings card game, but they feel completely different. These are obviously just the standees for the monsters. And then let's look in tuck box number 2. Okay, so this one has got like a sickle on its token. And again, we've got the 2 pack of cards that we must not open. And I guess the attack modifier decks, but I'll have a look at just to see if it is any different from the Demolitionist. No, looks exactly the same, so I'm going to assume they're the same in all the tuck boxes, so I probably won't open any more of these. And let's have, again, we've got the Fighting Fantasy style stats page. Very cool. Lots of nostalgia just looking at those. And then again, we've got Flaming Sickle, Blinding Sickle, Twirling Stabs, Shocking Advance, Desert Knight. So I guess this one uses its sickle perhaps to deal elemental damage, given the flaming and the blinding and shocking. Interesting. Blade Dance. And we have the rather gorgeous character art. Wraith Red Guard. Though their demon-like qualities make them feared by many, Valrus are, for the most part, well-mannered and gentle, preferring to solve problems through diplomacy rather than violence. They come from a dark and bloody heritage of genocide and warfare, and as they have become more civilized, have simply made concerted efforts to put their past behind them. Valrus pride themselves on being able to integrate themselves peacefully into human society, often becoming wealthy merchants or influential politicians. Okay. Right, so these are the A, B, C, D boxes that I must not touch. So I'll put them over there, or must not open anyway. These ones are obviously the character link tuck boxes. This one is the Red Guards based on the sickle icon. Oh, this is the mini. Ah, okay. Nice. There is a nice level of detail on there. Okay. And then the Demolitionist. Again, looks super cool. And although I probably should open the large top boxes first, I can't resist a look at a mini. I'm guessing this is the sort of warlock / mage. It's nice to see it. It's a female. Can't tell her age. She looks like she could be quite old on the mini. As I mentioned in the Crypt of Chaos thing, videos that I did, it would be interesting to see less stereotypical roles, in which case in that game they had a female warrior, and this one it would be nice to see something other than a Gandalf style mage. And obviously we got a female, whether they're be interesting to see if it's a young one. And then we have an axe wielder. No, with some sort of throwing knives, or is that arrows on his back? And horns. I don't know if that's just the design of his hat or whether he has horns, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, let's get through these last two tuck boxes. Again, we know the formula for these, so the tokens with their character token on them. The two Hulk decks, and again the attack modifier deck, which I'm going to assume is the same. The Fighting Fantasy style stat sheet. The moves, so Black Boon, which looks like it heals, Turn Out the Lights, Wicked Scratch, Suggestion, Gift of the Void, Lure of the Void. Okay, so yeah, very mysterious magical powers we've got going on there, which is to be expected, I guess, from a Void Warden. He definitely doesn't look like an archetypical Gandalf style mage, which I really like. And they've actually had the human as the mage, which again is different. They would you would usually, I guess, sort of expect an elven mage or something like that. Humans are by far the most dominant of the races, spreading across the continent like locusts, erecting extravagant cities and disturbing slumbering forces they can never hope to understand. That sounds about right. The human society is one of rules and regulations, but also one of great diversity. Very interesting. And I'm guessing then this axe wielder will not be human. And again, same as before, we have the character symbol tokens, the Hulk Dex and the attack modifier. The stat sheet for the Inox hatchet. So I'm guessing Inox is its race, which sounds like the name, but like an ibex antelope, or maybe it's just the similarity of the sound, but I'm sure there's some sort of antelope or gazelle that's called an Inox. But stopping power and double throw, disorienting, barrage, second wind, center mass, close cuts. So it sounds very much like the hatchet is your muscle, which again makes sense with the weapon choices. You always expect one wielding axes to get in your face and deal some damage. So the Inox hatchet. The Inox are a primitive and barbaric race preferring to live in small nomadic tribes scattered across the wilderness. There they subsist through hunting and gathering, scraping together a meager existence while fighting off the more dangerous creatures of the wild. Okay, very, very cool. What does it say on my guide here? Take out the stack of small red monster ability cards, which I'm guessing might be those. Yeah. And the deck of larger square monster stat cards, which must be these. Oh yeah, giant viper, so that's one of the enemy types. Blood tumor, okay. And sort the ability cards into separate piles based on the names on the back of the cards. If cards have the word basic, group them with the cards of the same title without basic. Now, I'm not going to do all that right now, but I am going to get these open just so we can have a little look. Okay, so Screaming Shot. And yeah, basic Vermling Raider. Careful Throw, basic Vermling Raider. Dual Daggers. Nothing special. Vicious Spear, Spiked Bit. Basic Zealot. So yeah, each enemy type that you're going to face, basic Giant Viper, Toxic Frenzy, is going to have its own little attack deck, which is really exciting for me because I haven't played a game that has that level of asynchronicity, I guess. Black Sludge. Very, very cool. Then place the cards into the zip bags of the corresponding monsters. So once the monsters are in their bag, you put their attack. And presumably you would put their, what are these, their stat cards in there as well. The Viper, the Stone Golem, Black Imp, Living Spirit, Living Corpse, Black Sludge, Vermling Raider, Blood Monstrosity, Rat Monstrosity, Zealot. Okay, and then we get into the big bad sort of Chaos Demon. And then the unique enemies, First of the Order, Blood Horror, and a Blood Tumor. Okay, so those are very, very different from your sort of archetypal fantasy enemy types, which I really, really like that. Okay, and then we've got another attack modifier card deck. So again, I'm not going to open that. What else do we have in here? This is the item cards. Is this a resealable one? It doesn't look... Oh, yes, it is. It's about to go to the trusty knife, but... Okay, so got some eagle-eye goggles and helmets and armor, so all the different gear that you can get. Obviously, oh, winged shoes, heater shields, a throwing hammer. Don't often hear of a throwing dagger, a throwing knife and a throwing axe maybe, but healing potions, stamina potions, power potions, potions galore. Comfortable shoes, they sound nice for a journey. Black candle. Okay, lots of different things going on here. And again, ring of haste, ring of strength, a steel ring. Okay, very, very cool. Very, lots of bits and pieces. You know, I love historically these sort of RPGs on the on consoles. So sort of Dragon Age, not necessarily Elder Scrolls because that's more open world, but particularly your more linear ones like Final Fantasy and, as I've mentioned, Dragon Age, things like that. And this definitely is giving me those sort of feels. These are your battle goals. Collect fewer money tokens than any other character. Kill a monster attacked by any of your allies earlier in the same round. End the scenario with hit points equal to your maximum hit point value. I don't know if maybe this, obviously these are going to be goals that you're given randomly. And I don't know, I assume once, if you satisfy them, then you get some extra gear or experience or something. Open a door and end your same turn in the revealed room. Weakling, become exhausted before any other character. So they sound like they're going to give everything an interesting twist and an interesting flavour as you go through. And what have we got here? This last one. These are the event cards. Okay. And these are obviously tied to your scenario. So I'm not going to read these out just because, well, I'll read a bit of the flavour text. So there's a saying, mess with the sleeping lion and you'll get the jaws. Today's one of those days where you earn that drink discount. You knock on the door of Zane, an orchid who switched from providing assurances to providing excuses. He opens up and you let him know it's time to settle his tab. Okay, so obviously there is a huge pile of different events. I guess some of them are going to be random, some of them are going to be scenario triggered. And then there's different outcomes on the back depending on, I guess, whether you're successful or not. And what's these? Just these last little things in here. Oh, there's another. What are these? No idea what these are. These are the monster stat envelopes. Okay, so once we've sorted the monster stat cards, they go in here. And these are the card dividers. So encountered events, unavailable items, and monster attack modifiers. So you use those to separate everything. But that is everything we have in the box. Always check under the insert. Nope, nothing hidden under there. So I will leave the video there while I get this all tidied up. And I hope you enjoyed looking at Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion with me. And once again, please let me know down below if this is one you'd like to see gameplay footage on the channel or not. And if so, then I will do my best to make that come true. And as I said, I will leave the video there. So thank you very much for watching. Look after yourself, stay safe and have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye now.